There are times in life when faith seems easy, when prayers are answered quickly, doors open, and blessings begin to pour out. But there are also times when everything seems quiet. Jobs don't happen. Healings are delayed. Success seems like a distant hope. It is during these difficult times that many begin to ask, is God still with me? Does He see my efforts? Will my faith ever be rewarded? These are not unusual thoughts. In fact, some of the strongest believers in the Bible, like Joseph, David, and Ruth, walked through long waits and silences before seeing God's promises fulfilled in their lives. Faithfulness, in its purest form, is not measured by how loudly we sing in moments of triumph, but by how steadily we walk in times of uncertainty. Today's message is not just a motivational talk. This is God's personal assurance to you, a reminder that faithfulness never fails. The seeds you sow in the dark, the prayers you whisper through tears, the obedience you show when no one else is looking, all are seen by Him who is most important. And today God says, be faithful, for your reward is coming. I have not forgotten you. The Bible is full of stories of people who often waited for years before they received what God promised. Joseph had a dream when he was a young man, but before it could come true, he was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and unjustly imprisoned. For more than a decade, he had to trust in God, even when nothing made sense. But in time, Joseph rose to power in Egypt, not just for himself, but to save a nation. David was anointed king when he was a teenager, but before he could ascend to the throne, he had to flee for his life, hide in a cave, and face years of opposition. Yet David remained faithful, composing psalms in his time of distress and worshiping in the wilderness. And Ruth, a widow in a foreign land, showed quiet loyalty and courage. She did not seek greatness, but her faithfulness included her in the lineage of Jesus Christ Himself. These stories remind us that God does not forget His promises and that He does not ignore those who remain faithful. If you are watching or listening to this today, perhaps you are in a time when your faith is being tested. Perhaps you have done the right things, praying, giving, loving, serving, yet you are waiting. You need to know this. God is not silent. He is strategic. Sometimes delay is not rejection. It is growth. He is preparing blessings and preparing you to receive them. In the next part, we will hear God's message, spoken directly to the heart, which will provide comfort, truth, and hope. But for now, let this truth sink deep into your heart. Faithfulness in the unseen is what sets you up for grace in the visible. And God rewards those who earnestly seek Him. In the silence of the night and the noise of the day, God watches the hearts of His followers. Faithfulness is not just an act, it is an attitude of the heart. It is the quiet confidence that even when nothing around you changes, even when you don't see the evidence, God is still at work. Faithfulness begins with faith. Faith that God is what He says He is, and that He will do what He has promised. But faith is not always easy, especially when your circumstances contradict God's word, especially when your prayers seem unanswered. Many give up during the waiting period. They start out strong, reading God's word, going to church, giving, serving. But when life gets tough and the waiting seems endless, their faith begins to weaken. But those who are rewarded are not those who start strong, but those who finish faithfully. Let's first try to understand the deeper meaning of faithfulness through examples from Scripture and life. In Genesis 6, we find a man named Noah. The world around him was corrupt and filled with evil. But Noah found favor in God's eyes because he was righteous and faithfully walked in God's ways. God gave Noah an unimaginable task: to build a huge boat in the middle of dry land because a flood was coming. Noah's obedience was not glamorous. For over 100 years, he built the boat while people mocked him. He didn't see a drop of rain. He didn't hear a thunderbolt. But he was faithful. What gave Noah the strength to keep building? It was the word of God. God spoke. And that was enough. Today we are not building boats with wood and nails, but we are building lives of obedience. When you are faithful to your spouse, when you raise your children in the way of truth, when you work honestly at work, when you serve without recognition in your church, you are building something. God sees it. And just like Noah, your obedience will lead to your reward. Abraham is called the father of faith because his journey was not easy, but he obeyed, even though the destination was unknown. In Genesis 12, God told him, "Leave your country, your relatives, and your father's house, and go to the land that I will show you." God didn't give him a map, just a promise. And Abraham went. Faithfulness often means taking action without knowing the full plan. It means saying yes to God without knowing how you will do it. Abraham made mistakes along the way. He lied, he doubted, but he kept going. He kept believing, and God fulfilled his promise. Abraham became the father of many nations. Are you in uncertainty? Have you left something familiar to God's call? Be faithful. The reward is not just in the destination. It is in every step of obedience. One of the most powerful examples of faithfulness in the face of hardship is the story of Job. He was a righteous man who was blessed with wealth, family, and health. But before long, he lost everything. His friends accused him. His wife told him to curse God. Yet Job replied, "Even if he slays me, I will trust in him." Job's reward didn't come immediately. He endured silence. He endured confusion. But he never gave up his faith. And in the end, God restored him, giving him twice as much as he had before. Sometimes your greatest testimony is not how high you have climbed, but how deeply you remain rooted in God when everything else falls apart. Jesus said in the Gospel of Luke, "He who is faithful then in a very little thing is faithful in much." Many people want big platforms, big blessings, big success, but they are not faithful with the little they have. Are you faithful with your time, with your words, with your possessions, with your relationships? God sees how you handle the little things, because how you handle the little things determines whether you are ready for the big things. If you are sweeping the floor, do it with joy. If you are helping a person, do it with skill. God is not looking for fame. He's looking for faithfulness. The book of Hebrews says, "Without faith, it is impossible to please God. For whoever comes to him must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who earnestly seek him." God is a rewarder. He does not ignore your tears. He does not forget your sacrifices. He does not ignore your faith. Your reward may not come the way you expect. It may not come at the time you want, but it will come, because God is not a man that he should lie. Sometimes the reward is peace in the storm. Sometimes it is joy in the waiting. Sometimes it is strength in your weakness. And sometimes it is the blessing you have been praying for. But whatever form it takes, know this: your labor is not in vain in the Lord. Closing thoughts. In this first part of our message, we explored what it really means to be faithful. In times of obligation, in uncertainty, in trials, in the little things. As you reflect on your own journey, ask yourself, where is God asking me to be faithful? Am I following the path of obedience even when it's hard? Am I trusting in God's timing and his plan? If your answer is yes, then hold on, because God says, be faithful, and your reward will come. Faith is not built in comfort. It is burned in the fire of adversity. In the silence of unanswered prayer, in the stillness of the night, when your heart aches, and when it seems like God has turned away. That is when faith is tested. When we walk with God, we expect light, but many times we are called to walk through darkness because God does not want us to suffer, but rather, He wants us to grow. It is in the journey through that fire that we are made pure. Think of Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, imprisoned for years for a crime he did not commit. But he was faithful. Why? Because he believed in the dreams God gave him, even when the path looked nothing like the promise. Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him. This is not blind optimism. This is steadfast faith. Even in the midst of suffering, God is at work behind the scenes. Sometimes you may ask, why God? Why me? Why now? Why do storms last so long? And the truth is, God is not punishing you. He is preparing you. He tests you to reveal what is really in your heart. He tests you to show you your dependence on Him. He tests you to increase your ability to bear the blessings that come your way. The stronger the storm, the deeper the roots of a tree go. Similarly, your spiritual roots deepen during times of trial. He is building patience, faith, and humility in you. God never wastes suffering. He always uses it for a purpose. Let's be honest. Faith is not always easy. During times of trial, your mind deceives you. Doubt whispers lies. Fear is louder than prayer. You may feel tired, isolated, even abandoned. But here's the truth. Your emotions do not determine God's presence. Even when you feel nothing, He is near. Even when you hear nothing, He is speaking. Even when you see nothing, He is working. Mentally, this battle can be exhausting. But every time you want to believe, even when you don't feel like it, you are defeating the enemy's lies. Waiting is perhaps the hardest test. This is where most people give up. But waiting is not inaction. It is not punishment. It is preparation. Abraham waited decades for Isaac. David waited many years to become king. Jesus waited 30 years before beginning His ministry. While you are waiting, God is at work. This waiting time is shaping you into a person who can carry the blessings of the future. You may be waiting for healing, restoration, promotion, love, or success. But remember, those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength. Don't just wait. Wait with expectation. Wait with worship. Wait with faith. Here's what God tells you to do during times of trial. Keep praying, even when it seems pointless. Keep praying, even when you're in pain. Keep moving, even if you feel like crawling. Persistence is the seed of success. Even the smallest act of obedience during times of trial can move heaven. Faith is not just believing in the good times. Faith is holding on through the storm. That's where the reward lies, not in the absence of struggle, but in enduring through it. My child, I haven't forgotten you. I see your tears. I hear your cries in the middle of the night. I know you feel alone, but I am right there with you. You are being built, not broken. Your story is not over. It is being written, word by word, with divine intent. Be faithful. Your reward is closer than you think. Tested faith, strong faith. The enemy wants you to give up, but heaven is encouraging you. Delay is not rejection. Trial is not a curse. And your faithfulness does not go unnoticed. God is watching. God is working. And God is preparing. So take courage. Your reward is coming. We live in a world that is constantly pulling at our attention. It tells you, do what feels good. Follow the crowd. Don't wait on God. Create your own path. But my beloved child, I need you to hear this. The voice of the world is loud, but my whisper is greater if you choose to listen. When everyone around you chooses shortcuts, dishonesty, and temporary pleasures, I invite you to a different path. a path of quiet strength, deep conviction, and lasting peace. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I know staying faithful isn't easy. I see how hard it is when others succeed through compromise, while you wait, pray, and walk uprightly. But my child, the path of righteousness is never in vain. Faithfulness doesn't just show in grand moments. It shows in your daily decisions, saying no when no one would know if you said yes, returning honesty when treated with deception, choosing purity in a culture obsessed with pleasure. Faithfulness is often invisible to the world, but it's fully visible to me. I am the God who sees the small, the secret, the silent. Every time you make a decision to obey me, when it costs you friends, money, or popularity, you're planting seeds for eternal reward. Whoever is faithful with little will be faithful with much. Your integrity may not bring immediate applause, but it draws the favor of heaven. You were never called to blend in. You were called to stand out with my light. When Noah built the ark, he was laughed at. When Daniel prayed, he was thrown into a den of lions. When Esther risked her life, she was terrified. And yet, they chose faithfulness in a culture of compromise. Child, the world may not understand your faith, but remember, you live for a higher kingdom. When you choose to obey me in a world that doesn't, you honor me more deeply than you know. Staying faithful can be lonely. You may feel like you're the only one doing the right thing. Everyone else is moving ahead, and you're being left behind. The pressure to give in is overwhelming. But let me tell you this, you are never alone. Though others may forsake you, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Even when people walk away because of your choices to follow me, I remain. Even when your standards feel too high for the world, they are just right for heaven. I will send the right people in your life at the right time, who walk in the same direction. Until then, walk boldly even if alone. Do not lose sight of what truly matters. This world is temporary. Its systems are fragile. Its applause is fleeting. But I, your God, am eternal. And everything you do in my name, every act of obedience, love, purity, sacrifice, is recorded in heaven. Fix your eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. Every time you feel like giving up, I ask you to look higher. Look beyond the moment, beyond the pressure. Look at me. There is a reward waiting. Not just one day, but here too, in peace, in purpose, in favor. My child, here are ways to remain rooted. When the world pulls you, stay in my word daily. Let truth anchor your heart against lies. Pray without ceasing. Conversation with me keeps your soul connected. Surround yourself with others who love me. Even one faithful friend makes a difference. Keep serving. When you pour into others, you find strength for yourself. Guard your heart. Choose what you watch, listen to, and think about. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Faithfulness is a daily walk, not a single event. My child, I know you're tired. I see you trying to honor me when no one else is. I see you resisting temptation, standing firm, saying no when it would be easier to say yes. I see your quiet tears, your battles that no one else sees. And I want you to know, I am proud of you. I have not missed a single moment of your faithfulness. I have counted your sacrifices. I have measured your pain. I will reward you, not just in eternity, but even now. Your faithfulness is building a legacy. It's breaking generational curses. It's making way for divine promotion. Stay faithful. I am not done with you. The world may not clap for you, but heaven is standing cheering your name. I love you. Always. God, so dear listener, hear this. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are not alone. In a faithless world, your faith shines brighter than ever. Don't give up. Don't give in. Faithfulness, my beloved, is often invisible to the world. When you choose to, wake up early to pray. Forgive someone who hurt you deeply. Resist temptation when you're alone. Trust me when nothing is changing. These are not acts that make headlines. They don't attract attention, applause, or followers. But they are the very moments that move heaven. You see, I don't measure you by what you produce in public. I measure you by who you are, in private, in the silent battles, the quiet obedience, and the small daily choices. Your faithfulness is forming a crown. Your Father, who sees in secret, will reward you openly. I know there are days you feel tired. You may say, "Why do I keep giving when no one gives to me? Why do I keep serving when I feel unseen? Why stay pure when others live without boundaries and seem happy?" But listen to me, my child. You are not working for the world's reward. You are waiting for mine. And my reward is never delayed, never lesser, never empty. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. Stay faithful. Your harvest is already growing beneath the surface. Just because you don't see it yet doesn't mean it's not on the way. Some of your most powerful preparation is happening while you feel hidden. Look at David. Before he became king, he spent years in the wilderness, alone, forgotten. But it was there that I trained his hands to war. I gave him the heart of a worshiper. I prepared him to reign. Your hidden season is not a punishment. It's preparation. In the unseen, I am shaping your spirit. In the quiet, I am building endurance. In the background, I am laying the foundation for your breakthrough. He who is faithful in the little will be trusted with much. So don't despise this season. It's sacred. I am with you in it. Being faithful doesn't only apply to me. It applies to how you love others. In your marriage, your friendships, your family. I'm calling you to show up with grace even when they disappoint you. Love when it's not reciprocated. Speak truth when it's uncomfortable. Stay when it would be easier to walk away. Faithfulness is not about perfection. It's about presence. I see how you love, how you forgive, how you choose peace over pride. That is the kind of love that reflects me. Love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Continue being my light, even if others don't notice. Because I notice. Sometimes the hardest test of faithfulness is waiting. You've prayed, you've fasted, you've served, and still, the door hasn't opened. The answer hasn't come. The miracle hasn't arrived. But my child, delay is not denial. What you're waiting for isn't just being prepared for you. You're being prepared for it. Though it tarries, wait for it. It will surely come. The enemy will whisper, "Give up. It's not coming." But I'm whispering louder. Hold on. You're closer than you think. Every day you stay faithful in the wait. You're proving your trust in me. There is a reward greater than any earthly blessing. More than money, more than marriage, more than promotion. It is me. When you walk in faithfulness, you don't just get my hand. You get my heart. You hear my voice more clearly. You feel my presence more deeply. You walk in my peace more freely. Draw near to me, and I will draw near to you. I long to be close to you, and every act of obedience pulls you nearer to my embrace. Don't trade my presence for temporary pleasures, because in me there is fullness of joy. My precious child, I know you've questioned whether staying faithful matters. I know you've felt discouraged when things didn't go your way. I know you've cried when you sowed in tears, hoping for joy. But please hear me. Your faith has not been in vain. I've been walking with you the whole time. I've caught every tear. I've strengthened you in your weakness. I've rejoiced over every right choice you've made. Stay with me. You're not far from the promise. Don't walk away now. The finish line is just ahead. When others doubted you, I believed in you. When you felt too weak to continue, I carried you. And soon, so very soon, I will reward you openly. The blessing is coming. The breakthrough is near. Stay faithful, child. Your reward is closer than you know. So to you who feel weary, unseen, and forgotten, remember this. You are planting seeds of eternity. You are writing a story of trust. You are reflecting the heart of God. Keep going. The Lord your God is faithful to reward those who seek Him with all their hearts. Even when the world doesn't notice, heaven is watching, and the Father is already preparing your reward. Let us talk now about the strength that blooms in silence, the kind of strength that grows not in the public eye, but in the private garden of endurance. You have been walking a long path, and I see how your feet ache, how your heart sometimes trembles with the weight of waiting. But this, my child, is the very ground where faith grows tall. You ask, when, Lord? When will the reward come? And I say, in my perfect time. Because true faith is not just the belief that I exist. True faith is trusting in my timing, even when everything around you says I'm late. You may not know this, but every quiet act of obedience has eternal weight. The times you said no to temptation, the moments you chose kindness as over retaliation, the prayers whispered in a dark room when no one saw you, those are the seeds of greatness. When a farmer plants seeds, he does not see fruit overnight. But beneath the soil, something miraculous is happening. Roots are taking hold. The seed is breaking open so it can become what it was created to be. You too are being transformed. Every step in faith is forming you into someone stronger, pure, more radiant with my glory. There is purpose in the pause. When you don't see results, don't assume I've abandoned you. Sometimes I withhold the blessing, not because you aren't worthy, but because the blessing itself isn't ready. Or perhaps you're being prepared to carry it. Think of David, anointed to be king, yet chased through caves and wilderness for years. Think of Joseph, who dreamed of leadership, yet found himself in prison. They did not receive the promise overnight, but in the delay, I was refining them, so their delay was their divine training ground. So it is with you. Your character is being shaped. Your roots are going deep, so that when the storm comes, you won't be shaken. Sometimes, people leave the field too soon. They stop sowing, stop believing, stop expecting. But the harvest only comes to those who stay. I urge you, my child, stay in the field. Keep sowing kindness. Keep showing up in prayer. Keep walking in integrity. Your labor in the Lord is never in vain. Galatians says, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." This is my promise. If you stay faithful, you will not miss your reward. You may be thinking of material blessings, and yes, I can and do provide them. But there is a greater reward, peace that passes understanding, joy that isn't based on circumstances, strength that carries others, wisdom that protects generations. These are the rewards that last beyond this life. And yes, I will also open doors for you. I will send provision. I will surprise you with answers, miracles, and breakthroughs. But I am not just preparing blessings for you. I am preparing you for the blessings. You don't have to wait until heaven to see my goodness. I am with you today. Every breath you take is a sign of my faithfulness. Look around, my child. You are still here. still breathing, still walking with me. That is victory. Psalm says, I remain confident of this. I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Hold on to this. Your reward is not just coming. It has already begun. Every moment of peace, every testimony, every door I've already opened. It is all part of the reward, and more is coming. Don't measure your life by the world's standards. Measure it by your faithfulness to me. For I see what man does not, and I reward what man forgets. When others overlook you, I see you. When others forget you, I remember you. When others doubt you, I believe in what I placed inside you. My dear child, I am a faithful God. I keep my promises. You are not forgotten. Your time is coming. I know the road is hard, but I am walking it with you. I know you feel tired, but I will be your strength. I know you wonder if it's worth it, and I say, yes, eternally yes. Stay faithful. The reward I have for you is beyond imagination. Not just what I give, but who you become in the process. That is my greatest gift. Your story is not finished. The best is yet to come, with all my love. As we conclude this message, remember that faith is not just about moments of relief and joy, but also about holding on tight, especially during difficult times and when it seems like a long night. God sees every tear you shed, hears every whispered prayer, and knows the burden you carry. Your faithfulness is precious to Him, and no act of faith goes unnoticed. In the waiting period, it may seem like nothing is happening, but God's timing is perfect, never before, never after. The seed you have planted in faith is quietly growing underground, ready to burst forth with blessings you cannot yet imagine. So hold on, be strong, and keep on believing. Your reward is coming. It is sure, and it is full of God's goodness. May your heart be filled with peace, and your spirit be renewed with hope. May you walk boldly, knowing that every step you take in faith brings you closer to the fulfillment of God's promises. Thank you for being here, listening, and opening your heart to this message. May God bless you abundantly and continue to guide you. Be faithful. Your reward is coming.